Hello friends, my name is Masood. Today we shall discuss about topic the Scrum Framework. Friend, today's topic is very interesting, especially if you have interest in project management of software development and you want to learn about it. So let's start, friend. First of all, I request to please subscribe to my YouTube channel and click on the bell option as well so that my videos can reach to you, and also you can follow me on the Facebook page as well. Friend, Scrum is basically a framework which we use to manage the software development based projects. It is a agile based framework. Agile, whenever we talk about agile, basically we are referring to the iterative or incremental approach. Okay, so the Scrum framework was introduced in early 1990s and since now become one of the most popular methodologies for software development in other areas that require iterative and incremental development process. A Scrum focus on flexibility, collaboration, and customer feedback to deliver valuable products efficiently. So basically, friend, in simple words, Scrum is a agile-based framework which we use for software development, and it is very flexible, collaborative, and based on customer feedback. Uh, the roles which are available in the Scrum framework, first one is the product owner. Basically, product owner represents the customer voice, and is basically a bridge between customer and the Scrum team. Product owner, if you just see the term product owner, so that means the owner of the product. Whatever the product you are making, he is the owner of the product. Like, he is the person who knows all the requirements of the product. He is basically a person who is talking with the customer. He is the person who is talking with the team as well. And whatever the team is facing problems or no need any feedback or need any clarification, the team talks with the product owner, and product owner will clarify after discussing the requirements with the customer as well, because he is the owner of the product. He has the knowledge about the product backlog. He will clarify whatever the queries team has, will do the team back, so that what is the requirement, what is the clarification required, product owner will explain to the development team. Now the Scrum Master. Scrum Master is another role in the Scrum framework. Scrum Master facilitate the Scrum process. He has the knowledge about the best practices of the Scrum framework. He also responsible to remove any obstacles or impediments which team face. So he will do his best efforts to remove those obstacles as well. He also responsible to ensure that the Scrum framework should be implemented with best practices whenever we are doing any meetings or we are implementing any projects. Now, the last role is the development team or Scrum team. A Scrum team is basically the cross-functional team. That means the software developers, designers, testers, deployment team. So all those are called as the development team. The Scrum team is self-organized and there is no role of a boss in the development team. Everyone is basically responsible for their own task. They are collaborative, self-organized, and they are the decision maker and accountable for their task as well. The artifacts about the Scrum framework, first one is the product backlog. Product backlog is basically the list of features, enhancements, and fixes for the product. Okay, so for example, let me give an example here. For example, you are implementing a e-commerce solution and you have a requirement that customer can do the payment through the credit card. So it is a feature. Okay, customer can select a product from the catalog. So this is another feature. So product backlog is basically the list of requirements basically, and also the fixes if there is any problem which we get through the feedback from the customer. Next is the sprint backlog. Now what is a sprint backlog? Basically, see friend, product backlog is the uh, as a whole is the complete requirement set of requirements. Okay, for example, uh, in the e-commerce solution there are 40 requirements, for example. So whenever we are in starting a new sprint, so what we do, we get the, for example, 10 tasks from the product backlog. So those 10 tasks which we are going to implement in the sprint, that is called as sprint backlog. So sprint backlog is basically a subset of the product backlog. For example, if there are 40 tasks in the product backlog and we took 10 tasks from the product backlog, so that is called the sprint backlog will have the 10 tasks which we are going to implement for that sprint. Sprint is basically a time box, a 3 to 4 weeks time period in which we do the development, testing, deployment, and review with the customer. Next is the increment. Now, what is the increment? The sum of all the product backlog items completed during a sprint, as well as all the previous sprints. Each increment should be potentially shippable and add value to the product. So that means, for example, in the first sprint, we have completed 10 tasks. Now in the next sprint we have completed 8 tasks. So increment means that 8 tasks have been added to the 10 tasks. So that means total there are 18 tasks which are shippable and showable to the customer, and like shippable and add value to the product. Next is the sprint. When sprint is a time box period, normally 3 to 4 weeks time period, in which the development team works to complete the items from the sprint backlog, like the development, testing, deployment, review with the customer, etc. Sprint planning. Sprint planning is a meeting where the development teams select the item they will work on during the upcoming sprint and create a plan to achieve. So that means in the sprint planning meeting, the development team sit together with the product owner and the scrum master as well. They basically took the task which can be doable in the sprint from the product backlog. Okay, they took the task from the product backlog and focus on those tasks which can be completed in the upcoming sprint. Daily Scrum. Daily Scrum is a short daily meeting where the development team members share updates on their progress, discuss the challenges, problems, issues, and their plan work for the day as well. Remember one thing, friend, that daily Scrum meeting should not be more than a 15 minutes meeting. It should not be happen that daily Scrum is going on for about 2 to 3 hours. It should have to be completed only maximum in the 15 minutes. Another is the sprint review meeting. A sprint review meeting is the end of the sprint where the development team showcase their completed work to the stakeholders, customer, etc. and receive their feedback. So that is the main purpose, that for example 10 tasks have been completed, and after completing the 10 tasks they will showcase their work to the customer or the main stakeholders so that they can get their feedback, whatever positive or negative. Sprint retrospective is another event. In the sprint retrospective, it is basically a meeting in which the Scrum team, product owner, Scrum master, they will sit together, and normally we do this meeting after the sprint review meeting. In the sprint review meeting, they basically discuss that what things goes well, what thing goes wrong, what are the positive things, what are the negative things. Try to continue the positive things, try to avoid the negative things, and the things which can be improved, it should be discussed. Basically you can say it's a post-mortem meeting, so that the things can be improved. The main purpose of a sprint retrospective is not to do any blame game on any team member. The main purpose is to improve the things. So basically a Scrum is basically iterative, incremental approach for frequent inspection adaptation, enabling teams to respond to changing requirements, customer feedback, and market dynamics as well. The Scrum promotes the collaboration, transparency, and continuous improvement, and a more effective and efficient product development. It is widely used all over the world, and many organizations are now moving towards the Scrum framework due to its flexibility, adaptability, and inclined towards the customer feedback and adding value to the customer as well. So that is why Scrum nowadays is very popular. So friend, thanks a lot for watching the video. I hope you like this video. If you like it, please share it with your friends and colleagues, and thanks a lot for watching the video. Thank you, friends.